Let's dive into this, y'all. Will Smith just tried to make a comeback. It's not going well.
From singing to fake AI crowds to putting castles in their head as a statement and getting cancelled by Hollywood, the Will Smith family has been going through it all. Ever since that fateful night at the Oscars, the Will Smith family has completely fallen off of the
Bro, who remembers this, bro? The Christian Rock thing really ruined Will Smith's career, man.
map. And so in this video, we're going to explore where the Smith family is today, and how one of the most famous families turned into a parody of all the things wrong with Hollywood and fame culture. Let's begin with Will Smith. Ever since the Oscar slap, he's never really been able to get any serious roles in Hollywood. His relevance has completely died out.
Yeah, man, that's true. Like, ever since this thing with the Christian Rock thing, Will Smith hasn't been the same. Like, the movies, like, you used to know there's a blockbuster. Will Smith is dropping a banger. But ever since then, the only thing I've seen of this guy is Bad Boys 4. That's the only thing that I've seen of Will Smith, bro.
Nobody cared about him and nobody wants to be associated with him, not even his own family. So Will had to do something drastic, and it all started with, you guessed it, Pretty Girls. Now, we've spoken about this before, but things have only gotten so much worse since. In June
Don't get me started.
I like pretty girls.
This song was absolutely bad.
In 2025, Will dropped what might be the most cringe-worthy song of the decade. The track opens with Will sitting in a therapist's office describing his problem, which turns out to be liking attractive women. Already, you know this is gonna be rough. It's a 50-year-old man with a broken image, a broken family, rapping about young attractive women. Then he starts rapping about
Not only that, he raps about young attractive women, whereas in the video, I ain't see no young attractive women. Y'all, by the way, he said, I like pretty girls, but I see a 50-year-old woman in that video. Hey, man, I'm keeping it a stick. They're beautiful, but I like pretty girl style. It just doesn't sit right with saying you like pretty girls. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about it, man, and make sure yourself.
Flavors of women: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, lemon. And the internet absolutely clown on it. You go on TikTok, YouTube, anywhere, and you'll find he hasn't got a single real fan. Just check out these comments and critiques from literally everyone, from YouTube comments to Reddit and newspaper and music critic headlines. Even the people you would expect to like Will Smith called it exploitative and noted the potentially unintentionally creepy lyrics. The song was part of his album based on a true story, his first in 20 years, which completely bombed and became the worst reviewed album of the year. Pitchfork gave it a—
But I gotta keep it a stack. If Will released this album back in 20 years ago, people would love this album, bro. It's just that he released the album with old ass type of— he used the same themes as the past. Well, in the new year, in the big 2025, well, you shouldn't be dropping that kind of music. But I get what you're trying to do, man. You've been great, man. You are a staple to the young black man. You know, that's why we think of when we call successful black man, Will Smith comes to mind, bro. Y'all cannot lie about that. This man has seen success.
Brutal 2.4 out of 10, calling it a pointless apology tour that was devoid of perspective or style. The reviewer wrote it felt like a campaign platform with one message: please take me back. Rolling Stone wasn't any kinder, describing the album as clunky and weighed down by cringy gospel-tinged, platitudinous rap. The Independent gave it 2 out of 5 stars, saying it lacked innovation and came across as quasi-inspirational songs that lacked energy. And these are the people that should be loving Will Smith. The previous idol of Hollywood, the guy who would say whatever he needed to say and do whatever he needed to do by Hollywood elites. And the commercial performance was even worse than the reviews. The album completely failed to chart on the Billboard 200, obviously, and it was Will's first album to ever achieve that level of commercial failure. In the UK, it sold just 268 copies in its first week, and only managed to hit number 79 on the download charts. And to be honest, most people probably buying this are doing it for the meme, as that's not a typo, 268 copies. Local indie bands often sell—
What? Will Smith sold 268 copies. That's so unbelievable looking at how many fans this guy got, bro. I find it hard to believe this is what Will Smith was able to sell, bro.
more copies at a single concert. To promote this masterpiece, he decided to perform at London's King Cross station, and he definitely didn't manage to rescue his image, as he asked for the crowd to chant and dance along, only for them to stand there like cardboard cutouts.
Damn.
Viewers then described it as having no energy, no response, nada. With nobody dancing along, nobody even looks happy. And if he thought busking at train stations was rock bottom, Will had other plans. By August 2025, during his European tour, Will sung so low that he posted a video showing massive crowds cheering for him. Except except the crowds were fake AI. People immediately spotted digitally mangled fake.
Man, I remember this, bro. People were really roasting this man for using AI. But I do think the AI thing wasn't him, really. I think it was part of his PR team. I don't think Will Smith will be like, yo, put some AI in my songs. Nah, I don't think so. The AI fans was something that was made by maybe someone in his team. I don't think he's responsible for doing this. I don't think Will Smith would do something like that, bro. Like, let's be real, bro. Let's be real for a second. This is Will Smith we are talking about, man. Call it glaze, but I ain't glazing. I'm just saying it as it is, man. You think Will Smith would go to someone and say, hey, man, put some AI on my video? Nah, I don't believe that, man.
Faces, nonsensical finger placements, and people moving like they're in The Sims. The comments were brutal. Imagine being this rich and famous and having to use AI footage of crowds and bulk comments on your video. Tragic, man, you used to be cool. The whole thing was such a catastrophe that Will's planned massive comeback tour had to be scaled down significantly. When your album flops so hard that you have to tour smaller venues in places like Scarborough and Wolverhampton instead of major metropolitan areas, you know you've hit rock bottom. And if anyone knows a Scarborough, they'll know how comical this really is. I mean, just think about how desperate you have to be to fit your own crowd sizes, especially when you were the most famous man in the world at one point. This is a man who once performed for actual sold-out stadiums around the world, now reduced to manufacturing digital fans because the real ones have moved on, performing local gigs in Wolverhampton. Really, Will's fans grew up when he didn't. You could get away with tacky music in the 90s, Smith's early hits like Miami and Summertime really didn't sound too different to
Yeah, that's what I said. If he was released, if this music was released in the 1990s, it would hate. But now he just can't, bro. Like, whoa, you had to improve. I remember when you were making that freestyle, he's like, this is the will, bro. I don't know how it's like. Hey, man.
But they were released 30 years ago, and he was cool back then. He hadn't had his image completely destroyed, and let it sink in and remind yourself that Will Smith is now pushing 60 years old. Aside from the album and tour, Will was persistent in bringing back his rap career when he released the Lyrical Lemonade freestyle from March 2025, bringing the cringe to a whole new level. He's sitting there in front of what looks like a school lunch, trying to convince everyone he's still got it. The lines are just painful. I pulled a pin out of the grenade on purpose when I threw it. Like, yeah, that's how grenades work. And then he keeps saying this is the bounce back over and over, like if he says it enough times, it'll actually happen. The whole thing just feels awkward. It's like watching your dad try to freestyle at a family barbecue. Everyone's just uncomfortable.
Nah, bro. Y'all gotta let Wu do what he gotta do, man. Let the man explore his passion, man. This is what happens when this guy, y'all forget that this guy was big. This guy was at some point the most famous man out there. But you have to understand that with that kind of influence, you grow up being around people, you grow around being loved. That thing just can't go away. I kind of feel what he is feeling right now, bro. But I'm not as successful as Will Smith, but I'm just saying I kind of do relate to what he's going through. But I don't know, man. Just saying, man.
As his music career imploded, Will then tried to resurrect his acting reputation with Bad Boys Ride or Die in 2024. While the movie did make money, many said it felt calculated and desperate rather than a genuine comeback. The Hollywood Reporter revealed that Smith's agents had been calling studio production executives for the first time since the slap, trying to drum up work. They were literally using Bad Boys 4 as a test case to see if anyone would still hire him. It felt like it was his Hail Mary, his last shot at movie star relevance. And to be fair to Will, he did set his conditions for his return for a possible Bad Boys 5, saying, I never wanted to be one of those dudes who make sequels just because people will go. But that's exactly what this feels like, a desperate attempt to milk a franchise that peaked decades ago. A great metaphor for his own personality. As behind the scenes of Will's desperate looking...
But to be honest, bro, I really like the movie, bro. I like Bad Boys, bro. Bad Boys for life. That movie is great. Y'all gonna hate on, bro. Don't hate on this. That movie was great, man.
Public appearance, his personal life and marriage were completely falling apart in a more serious way. And here you can really feel how, as a part of the Hollywood machine, he and his family kind of just stopped being people and instead turned into brands and commodities. As in October 2023, Jada dropped a bombshell that changed everything we thought we knew about the Oscar slap. During her promotional tour of her book Worthy, she revealed that she and Will had actually been separated since 2016, meaning they hadn't been living together as a couple for 7 years. So when Will slapped Chris Rock and shouted, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth," he was defending a woman who wasn't technically his.
I gotta say this about the Will thing. Guys, I want you to listen to me carefully. I want you to hold your phone or the PC, look into your screen. The type of women you pick to be with you for the rest of your life is the most important decision that I'll ever make, and I gotta keep it to like you gotta at least look for the things that you value in that person, man. Don't be around choosing people just because you really love them, bro. Because the type of women you attract, or the type of men you attract, if for the ladies who watch the videos, that could be the thing that's going to destroy you. Careful who you pick, man. Because if you don't choose wisely, you're gonna end up like what?
Wife anymore. Think about that for a second. The most famous public defense of a marriage in recent history was actually a lie. They kept up the charade for the cameras and for the brands and movie roles. Jada said that they were exhausted with trying and stuck in their fantasy of what we thought the other person should be. When her book finally came out, which was supposed to be a big comeback moment, it became another cringe-worthy spectacle. The book tour itself was a disaster. Quote, "We just lived through Jada's memoir rollout, and I'm tired," said Sam Sanders on his podcast Into It. Even Saturday Night Live got in on the action. The book itself was a commercial flop, with just 23% of people recommending it on Google. The reviews were brutal. I read mostly biography, almost never fiction. I watched all the episodes of Red Table Talk, so I was looking forward to this book. There is nothing new here, and it's not even well written. You can skip this book. Another reader wrote, "What a stupid book. Completely not."
I mean, she just wanted to get that bag. On your news, hey, get that bag. But anyways, man, it's your boy Exceptional G, man, signing you. Much love for you. Thank you guys for watching the videos, man. I really appreciate it. To those who are out here, man, watching the videos, man. Peace out.